Yo, we are
Hey.
back with Elysian Road, and I gotta quickly switch over these overlays.
Loot.
Connor has abandoned us, but that is okay. We will continue on. So, I think we cut over to Till at the helm. So, what's he up to right now?
He's deep in the helm. You could say he's helms deep.
Whoa. How dare you? How dare you say that?
He is probably just watching the stars go past as they navigate and
Without
listening
numbers.
to
The
yes,
stars without number, yeah.
and listening to music on a pair of rather nice, high quality audiophile grade headphones.
So does Ode walk in, I guess? Because
Yeah.
your token's there. Okay, yeah.
Well, actually, it depends on where. I'm actually going to talk to Chloe. I just saw that she was in the
Oh, okay.
cockpit.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say that like Chloe was in there with you, Till just kind of like chilling, doing his own thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Doing her own thing, right? So she's like sitting in like the co-pilot seat, just kind of like looking over your route and like t-minus however long it's gonna take you guys to get there, that sort of stuff.
Caleb, by the way, the overlays are still messed up.
I know, and I don't know why, so I have to open up Photoshop again. So it's all right, just do your thing, guys.
Fix the overlays on the fly.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. It's my favorite thing to do when I'm streaming. So,
There's got to be a way to parameterize it. So you just say there are 4 people, and here are the names of each of the 4 of them in clockwise order, and then it just does it.
not with OBS.
No, I mean, there should be a way to
If there was,
like Streamlabsify it.
Oh, I'm sure
you
there
might have
is.
to-
Yeah, it
I
probably
might have
costs
to
money,
write a program.
or you can do
Yeah.
that.
It's probably
That
like
would be
a-
awesome. Yeah, Josh, you should write me a program.
How much would that?
All right, when I get my coding workstation back, I don't have my main workstation with me right now, hence the
Mhm.
comfy chair and funky lighting. But when I get my main workstation back, I will look into that because that would
Sounds
be
good.
fun.
Yeah, that would.
Give me an excuse to write something in C#.
Sure. I don't know what that's like,
Music?
but I know what C sharp is, but I don't really know anything about it. So, do I really know what C sharp is? Anyway, so Chloe is just chilling in there with you. I think you guys have gotten relatively comfortable with each other in the time that you've been there, right? Like she doesn't bother you, you don't bother her. She just
Yeah.
likes being like in the front, right? And she obviously understands that you're the captain and she's not, but like she likes being up the front of the ship. And so yeah. So, Ode, you walk in.
So I don't think Till has headphones on then.
Sure,
If
yeah.
Chloe's there. They're probably just sitting in silence.
I mean, she would be okay with you like playing your music. Like she doesn't. I think she says that at one point, right? Like, right, like,
Like he's trying to purchase headphones so that it's not awkward, but he can still hear what he's.
right. And she just like says, just put your music on the speakers. I kind of like it.
So he puts on. It's really, really old piece. They found it on a. They found it on a golden record on some Voyager 26 satellite launched. And this is a like 3rd generation cover of the piece, but it's an aria from the opera Norma. It's a baritone aria, so deep male voice and not really a deep male voice, kind of a male voice between a tenor and a bass.
Yeah.
Kind of intense and emotional piece. The orchestration is gorgeous.
Yeah, and I think Chloe is saying something to you about it as Ode walks in. So she's saying like, man, you can really just like tell the emotion. You can really like, feel the emotion behind his words, even though I don't understand the language that he's singing in. Huh. And then Ode like walks in. You're muted.
Yeah, he sort of just stops in the doorway and waits for her to finish talking.
Right. Did you open the door though?
Yeah, like he steps in and then just kind of stands
Yeah,
there.
I mean, she was like waiting for Till to say something. So if Till doesn't,
Oh, okay.
then she like turns to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's like, "What's up, Till? Miss?" And he has the stick from the kebab in his hand still.
Right.
And yeah, he absentmindedly touches his like knee pocket again.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, so she yeah.
Do you have food on the bridge?
it's a stick.
Is there grease on the stick from food?
Probably.
Don't get it on things.
I lick the stick. I better. Is there garbage in here anywhere? I assume.
No.
Yeah.
A
Or no?
small incinerator.
There's no waste disposal short of the one right next to the pilot's chair. So
So
you would have to like
there
walk
is.
up and reach between the two of us in a sort of awkward manner. It's put there on purpose.
I mean, I do that then.
There's no trash receptacle on the bridge. You use the one in the kitchen.
Yeah. Then he walks
5
up. and
more
he's like,
steps.
excuse me here. He just kind of like tries to reach past you and throw it in there.
Yeah, so Chloe like uncomfortably like shifts in her chair, right? 'Cause
Till just gives
she
him
had,
a
her-
look like
her
we've
feet
been
up
over
on the
this.
dash. So she says, "Oh, you can just call me Chloe. It's fine."
Oh, okay. Okay. Chloe, I had a question. I'm not sure if you'll know the answer. I kind of hope you don't, actually. But
Okay.
and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the little like EpiPen of Bloodshot or whatever.
Right.
So I found this like in the what was that, like a ventilation shaft or I don't know, whatever that was, and it seemed kind of weird for a medical ship, and like there was some other stuff, but I didn't recognize it, so I didn't take any of that.
Yeah.
Till raises an
He
eyebrow.
just kind of shrugs, like,
Make a notice roll, both of you. Difficulty 8.
is this with
Are
wisdom?
we noticing
wisdom.
something about a thing or something about a person?
You're noticing something about Chloe. So with wisdom.
Yeah, I was right.
What'd you say the difficulty was?
8. So you see things.
Oh yeah.
So I broke the scroll wheel on my
And with
mouse.
Oh
wisdom.
no.
I have to click on
Oh,
the
no.
slider bars
That's the
Oh,
worst.
gross.
to scroll things.
Like a pleb.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ah.
So
Ouch.
Till,
There
you're
we go.
completely oblivious to this, but Ode, you can definitely tell that that Chloe is. She pales slightly and like seems to be very uncomfortable by what you have in your
Yeah.
hand right now.
So yeah, he shrugs and says, I mean, like,
She managed to hide
good
it
stuff.
pretty well, but like you just managed to notice.
Yeah. yeah. So when he notices that, he shrugs and says, I mean, like, it's good stuff. It's just, I don't know why it's on a. I thought maybe you could shed some light onto why it would be on a medical ship. It seems weird.
I don't know. What did you say you found this?
When Dylan and I were crawling around and stuff, we passed a really weird, probably irradiated thing, and then there was a bunch of sketchy looking drugs and stuff, and this. Wow.
Yeah, and she looks at you and she says, and you know this is a lie. Till you don't think this is a lie, but Ode thinks knows this is a lie. She says, "Well, I have absolutely no knowledge of this. My My ship is a little secondhand, you see, and there might have been things about it that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, so he cocks his head and he's like, you didn't know there was a secret hatch in the...
No, I knew about the secret hatch.
Yep.
I thought it was empty. From the readouts that I had, we didn't have anything in that in the slot.
You're the captain, right?
Yes, I'm the captain. Ode.
The secret hatch is of no use if you have a manifest of what's inside. Just throwing that out there.
Well, yeah, but I mean that kind of insinuates intentional. It doesn't matter. I was just curious. Yeah. Anyways.
I don't know anything about this, Ode.
All right. Cool. All right. Thanks. And he kind of just waves the pen and walks back out.
And well, she says, "What are you going to do with that?"
Play video games.
Yeah. So she kind of looks like a little uncomfortable, like, "Oh, don't do that. Like, why would you?" And then she says, "How many of those did you grab?"
Ode.
As many as I could carry. I mean, I'm not going to waste this stuff. I've never even held one of these things before. I've only heard about them.
Yeah, right. And so
Stuff I use is garbage.
you know, oh, that you've caught her in this, right? Because she can't say anything, like, because if it's just like some like person hid this here and it's been sitting there for a long time, then she shouldn't care about that you have it or not. But if it's actually something that she needs, like, and she, she was hoping that would be able to go like scavenger, something like that, right? Like, she's obviously feeling uncomfortable about it, and
I think he walks up to the door and says, "It's too bad the rest of it got lost with the ship. It was probably worth a lot of money." And then he walks out.
She pales a little bit further.
And he goes bloop right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so Chloe reaches over and turns up the opera. And she says, like, kind of a little loudly, "So what is he saying here?"
Till sort of a little confused by the interaction there. Dismayed at Ode's impertinence. Not impertinence. Just a little uncomfortable with Ode's flagrantly waving around this tube of drugs and not sure whether or not he should say anything as the one responsible person on this entire ship. But he kind of launches into the description of this particular segment of the aria that, unfortunately, because I thought we weren't doing this today, I didn't actually do much research like I normally do.
Yeah, it's totally awesome. Yeah, it's totally fine. Right, you start into your normal spiel about the aria, and then we fade out. From the scene.
Who the singer is, and that.
Yeah.
That.
And that's the thing, right? Like, at this point, we've become very familiar with the way Till explains these operas, and so we don't need to necessarily hear it every time. Yeah. So, Dylan, what are you up to? I think Isaac has gone like back to his like quarters and like just kind of like chilling. I think the pharmaceutical people have kind of like set up shop in the cargo bay. They have like cots and stuff that they kind of like set up there. They're just kind of like chilling in there. What are you up to, Dylan?
Dylan's probably still sitting in the kitchen. As you know, she made herself a nice coffee, so she's finishing it off because she likes to savor it. And so she has her notebook open and she's sketching a long string of Greek letters in kind of a fancy twirly font.
Cool. So, do you walk back into the kitchen? Is that what happens?
Yeah, I come back in because I'm heading back towards the computer room probably. But yeah, he walks through and I think he pauses when he sees that Isaac's not there. So I think he stops and he walks over and he was like, "Was that tool bothering you?"
Whoa.
Pew, pew, shots fired.
Took me a second to actually put that together. But
Sorry.
The drill? What?
she just says, no.
Okay, good.
She was probably as confused as I was for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he pauses and he says, I didn't see him do anything when we were fighting the pirates. Was he even around?
She just kind of shrugged and she was like, well, I was with you the whole time, so.
Well, yeah, but you didn't get shot to pieces. I was just curious. And yeah, I think he kind of like gestures to his bandage when he says that and tries to laugh and then probably cringes.
She laughs a little bit and then goes back to her sketching.
Okay, yeah, so he just I think he still has like the pen in his hand, so he's just kind of flipping it and he says yeah, he says, well, I'll see you around, and he steps into the cargo bay with the pen.
Yeah, so you see like the rest of like the pharmaceutical people, right, just kind of like chilling in there.
Yeah.
Isaac is like reading a book or something. I guess not on a book, but like an ebook on his, like, he's just like messing with his data pad.
Yeah.
And Nicole is like talking. Nicole Stavro, the medical officer that actually saved your life, is having a conversation with one of the other officers, and just kind of like talking about some.
Dylan was there, I would have been fine.
Some specific of the mission, right? Like the stuff that they still have to do on New Catherine.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, so because Dylan's a tool, he intentionally walks the long way through the room.
You mean Isaac?
No,
You just said
I meant
Dylan.
me. Oh, did I? I meant sorry, I meant me. I'm still on the Dylan is me thing. And it's
Right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Because Ode is a tool. I walked the long way, flipping the pen in my hand and like whistling
Right.
or whatever, just to see if
Yeah.
anybody notices.
No, I don't think anyone pays you any money.
Okay. And then yeah, he just goes back into the computer room and.
Yeah, sure.
Do we know what this thing does? Do we decide?
The EpiPen sort of thing, the
Yeah.
bloodshot. I think it's like adrenaline, right? It's like it hypes you
Yeah.
up and like
It's an upper, basically. Yeah.
for mechanical stuff. I mean, I don't know if we necessarily need to worry about it terribly right now, but like I would say like maybe like give you a +2 or something to
Okay.
like
Then yeah, I think he
exert
just
issues.
he flips it in his hand again, and pops the end off and sticks it in his shoulder,
Mhm.
and probably spaces out for a few seconds.
Get it? Spaces out.
Hey,
We're in space.
yeah. But not like he did a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Space drugs.
Yeah. So yeah, his eyes probably just like super dilate and
Mhm.
sort of blank over, and then it probably wipes off of it.
Yeah, sure. So I think, yeah, unless anybody else has like a thing they want to do or like talk to someone, I think we wipe to several hours later, and yeah, is there anything in the entire like 24 hours still left to get to New Catherine? Is there anything else you guys want to like have a conversation about with anyone?
I know Ode wants to talk to Evelyn, but I think he's gonna need some prompting before that comes up.
Yeah, I think I want to have Evelyn just kind of like brooding by herself in her room the rest of the episode,
Yeah.
right? Trying to figure out like, do boys like me or not?
Right. Well, because Ode wanted to have a conversation with her, but I feel like it's the kind that would need some.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't just like go to her room. Yeah.
Yeah. Should I just change that goal?
I think for this session, yeah, probably.
Yeah, Dylan definitely wants to talk to Ode more, but I don't know how to.
Oh my
Start
god,
that
it's like that's like a legit teenager thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I want to talk
Well-
to Odnor, but is it gonna be weird if I just like go and try to like talk to him? Is that like?
It would be really funny if she went to the computer room and just saw him like blitzed out of his mind. It was like, maybe I should talk to him later. Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, so it's up to you, right? Like Dylan, if you want to have a conversation with Ode, you can frame a scene for us, right? Like say like, okay, well I think maybe at one point during this voyage we end up in this room together. We talk about something, right? Like that's something you can do. So
there's probably a point where I crash, and that might make a good time for it. Yeah, you probably just hear lots of loud noise and like yelling or bellowing.
Die, noobs!
Get wrecked, scrub! And yeah, he's just kind of flipping out. And then after a while, it gets quieter, and then you don't hear anything. So yeah. How many points did I score, Caleb?
Yeah, so I guess she...
Roll another shoot roll with +2.
Okay. Wait. Okay, yeah. Watch me get it worse. I mean, actually, that would be appropriate.
Oh gosh.
Yes, drugs.
Like, okay, so let's consult the table here to see how good of a roll that actually is, guys. So
I got a 5, a
16.
6, +2, +2, +1. I literally, if I'd rolled one better on the 5, I would have gotten the max I could have possibly rolled.
So 14 is only a true master has any chance of achieving this at all, and even then will probably fail.
Oh my word.
So I think what happens
This
is
is
you
why
get
we're pro gamers.
yeah,
Yep.
you get banned from ever playing on any of the servers
Oh,
in this system.
anti-cheat kicks in, and
cuts
Yeah,
to
like,
the-
literally,
you're
it's
an
just like
aimbot.
there's no way that you are actually
Yeah.
this good. Like
I think it cuts to me in the game, and it shows the like scoreboard, and it's me, and then a team of 12 people,
yeah,
and none of them have any kills. And yeah, there's just the
and you have
chat
like
shows,
57 or something.
yeah, right, and it's yeah, there's just a little thing that says you've been rebanned, and he's just like,
Yep.
yeah, and then I think I mean he's still like jacked up on stuff, so I think he like jumps out of the thing, and then there's probably like I think he goes back to his room, and he's probably got like a punching bag or something, and I think he just wails on it and probably wakes Fergus up, and
Yeah, just
for
like,
yeah, for like 20 minutes straight he just pounds on it.
And I think Fergus at one point just like he's like, I think I have a headache, and he just like walks out of the room and like goes to like the computer room to like do something on his own. He's like play solitaire or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, he slips on my sweat. Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So where do we find Ode and Dylan
So
when they have
amazing.
this conversation?
Oh, I'm getting more of these pens. Anyways, sorry. Yeah. I think I get tired of punching the bag after a while, and I probably just like pass out in the hall. So I'm just over here on the floor.
Okay, so I think what happens is Dylan, you're just like walking around, right? You go to like walk somewhere. Maybe you're going to the computer room, and you just end up like in the hallway where Ode is, and he's just like literally like laying on the floor, just like staring up at the ceiling in like a cold sweat. So we hear the door hiss open.
Yeah, she's got her
So you walk in.
her headphones in.
Right.
Yeah,
And so I think what we
she's got her
do,
headphones in, and they're like,
the camera is
blaring her
focused on.
music.
Yeah, exactly. The camera is focused on like the top half of you, right? And so you're like, you walk in the door and like start down the hallway, and then we like zoom out and we see her like almost like step on Ode, and like she like looks down and the camera like pans down and we see Ode just like literally just laying on the floor, just like looking up.
Probably mumbling to myself.
yeah. And when she's walking in before she notices him, she's softly singing along to the chorus of "Heavy Dirty Soul" by 21 Pilots that's playing through her headphones, and
It's,
And
it's
then,
basically
yeah, she
classical
almost-
music at this point. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
And then
The great
she
composer.
almost trips over him, and then yanks her earbuds out and kind of gets mad for a second and goes, "What are you doing laying on the floor?"
Yeah, there's no response. You just think.
I don't know.
Yeah, he may or may not be choking. I don't know.
She reaches down and knocks him on the head to see if he's awake.
He's like, "Oh, aim about this." Oh. Where am I? Yeah, and then I think he grabs his chest. He's like, "Oh, I feel like I was hit by a truck. What happened? Did we crash?"
And she just kind of says, "No, but I guess you did."
Yeah, he looks at you like that doesn't make sense. And yeah, just like, what? And then, yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, that was more intense than I was expecting. And then I think he tries to stand up, but does a poor job of it.
Yeah, like stumble against the wall, like. Oh.
Yeah, I think he falls against the wall and then leans on it like that was what he was trying to do. And then,
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Wall's comfy today.
Yeah.
Meant to do that.
Yeah, so she just kind of she looks him up and down, kind of realizing that he's not all there yet. But and then she just says, "Ode, I never thanked you back on the SNS."
For what?
For everything, snapping me back to reality, sticking with me through the rest of whatever that was, not urging me to kill again, for telling me it wasn't my fault.
Oh, of course. I mean, it wasn't. And I mean, I wouldn't have made it as far as I did without you either. Of course. Yeah, I think he sort of shakes his head and sort of comes to it a little bit. And seems a little bit more coherent. Yeah. So honestly,
So she just says, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, I didn't really know what was gonna. I've never been shot before. I didn't really think it was gonna happen until it did. So, thanks for being there. I probably would have been shot more. Yeah, he says, he says you definitely haven't lost your edge with the sword that you got from. What game did you play? What was the game you played professionally or whatever?
It was like an adventure game of some sort. I don't know if we named it, but
it doesn't have a name. Okay. Yeah,
No,
it says
I didn't have a name.
You're just as good with the sword in real life as you are in insert X game. And then he kind of chuckles nervously, like he's not sure if that's a good thing to say.
The game that she played was called Evercraze.
Evercraze?
Yeah.
That sounds like another game I've heard of. Yeah, so he says, basically like, yeah, you haven't lost your touch.
She kind of nods slowly and softly says, "Thank you."
Yeah. Hey, what do you think? Maybe would it be easier if we got you something that was not so sharp, like I don't know, like a stun baton or something? I mean, I don't want you to have to. I mean, you could have. Yeah, he just trails off, like insinuating like he could have died if you had issues with the swords, but he didn't want to touch that nerve or whatever. So.
Yeah, she kind of nods. You can tell she's thinking, and she just says, "Yeah, that. I don't know why I didn't think about that before."
Yeah, well, he shrugs and he says, "Like I said, it wasn't really natural. I didn't think about getting shot. That seems pretty stupid in hindsight." So, yeah, he kind of chuckles and he says, "I guess that's what happens when you try and play a video game in real life."
He says, pointing directly at the theme of the show that we're doing.
Yeah, on the nose. Boop.
You look at the camera. Isn't
Yeah.
that silly?
Yeah. I think he said, of
Guess we're
course.
just a couple of fish in a big ocean.
Gosh. You're just a little hobbit after all.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, although, I mean, you were pretty good with the story. Like, you wouldn't have killed him if weren't for. Well, you didn't kill him. It was Evelyn. I mean, I don't know. It was just a thought. If you want to keep using the word, it's up to you, I suppose. I don't know if it has sentimental value or anything, but
I mean, that's an interesting question, does it, Dylan?
Probably, yeah. I was gonna ask, could she just carry around 2 weapons
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
and have her actual sword as a backup?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
that'd probably be a better idea because technically the sword
Okay.
does +1 damage as opposed to the stuff which doesn't.
Mhm.
It's not a big difference, but it's there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she
So,
she
yeah,
kind of like scratches her head for a second in thought, and then just says it holds a little value, but I could always use it as a backup, you know.
that's true. I suppose if someone tries to kill you, it doesn't hurt to have a more effective tool. And he looks at like the gun that he has, which is probably like I think he looks over at his room. It's probably in his room, and he says, maybe I should. My gun can't kill people either. Maybe I should do something about that. I don't know. Plus, you never know. Next time Evelyn's going to try and get us to kill somebody, and he shrugs like I should probably do it next time she tells me to.
Yeah,
Right.
she,
You remember he has the weird religious thing for psychics.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So she says, "Oh, yeah, that's another thing. The whole kind of siding with me on the sparing the pirates thing. I realize that that's not exactly something honorable in your religion.
Oh yeah, he shrugs.
You know,
He says,
siding against a psychic.
yeah. He says, honestly, I don't know if it was the right thing, but it felt right in the moment. And I mean, Evelyn and Fergus, they might be above me or whatever. He says, gesturing ambiguously in the air. But I don't know. They make me wonder. And he kind of shrugs, like. This is but you fought with me. I don't have a question about that. Although I hope it doesn't come to that again.
Yeah, she nods and says, "Me too."
What would you have done if she'd forced the issue and Till hadn't spoken up?
I don't know, honestly. I knew that I couldn't let her do that.
Yeah, he just kind of nods solemnly, like, yeah, good point. Yeah, and I think he says, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I guess technically she was right, but I don't know. It didn't sit well with me, but I don't know. Because, yeah, he'd stepped aside to let her kill them, and they would have if you hadn't stepped in the way, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's kind of an awkward thing to say, so he just kind of shrugs like, yeah, I was kind of just being a pansy about it, so.
Yeah, so I think what happens is there's like maybe an awkward pause between you two, and we get one of those shots where the door hisses open behind you. A random like pharmaceutical officer just kind of like walks in, sees that you're like kind of like busy with something, and then like awkwardly just kind of like walks by and like walks down the hallway.
We side glance at them like.
Yeah.
So what planet are we going to, by the way?
You are going to
The T4 planets or the T2 planet?
you're going to New Kazern, which is here. I'll just pull it open. So
Is it tier 2?
it's a TL4. It's
Okay,
not
alright.
Zanless is the TL2. That's where Dylan's from. So let me find this. Let's search this other number thing. So New Kazern is actually a little interesting to you, Ode. So you know that New Kazern Kazern is the name of the system in which Scanston is in, which is the TL5 planet that's basically like where the Pope lives. And New Kazern is a bunch of like runaways from Scanston.
Do they have cool Tech 5 stuff?
They have a few Tech 5, TL5 stuff. Yeah, TL5 things.
Okay.
It does not include medicine, or else they wouldn't need this.
Right.
But they have a few extra stuff besides like TL4 things.
Okay.
Mostly, I think, in the way of sci-tech.
So they're TL4 plus, basically.
Yeah, TL4 plus. Yeah.
Okay. Sci-tech.
Yeah.
Shine.
So, yeah, you guys know that it's basically like an outpost. It's pretty small. There's not a whole lot of people that live there. But yeah, they're like people originally from Scanston, and there is yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe if you know a whole lot more than that, unless you like made a roll. But yeah, that's
Right.
where you
Probably
get
not.
it.
I have a -1 to that, and my wisdom sucks, and so does my intelligence. So.
Yeah. So that's basically what you know about it.
Okay. Yeah, and I think he says. I'm sorry. The name of the planet is what again?
New Kazern.
Kazern. Okay.
Yeah, I'll spell it in chat for you.
Yeah, and it says, do you have any plans for when we get to New Kazern? When we get planet side? With Isaac, maybe? He tilts his head.
Getting down to it.
She again, lots of confused faces this session, but she's kind of like she hasn't made it click yet, but she's just kind of like, no.
Oh, cool. Well, do you want plans for when you get planet side?
She just shrugs and says, I guess. I mean, I don't know what Till is gonna want us to do there.
Yeah, he just shrugs and says, it doesn't really matter. I mean,
Doesn't matter what Till wants us to do.
there's not much there, but I heard they have some cool sci-tech stuff, I guess. I don't know if we'll be able to see any of it. Probably not.
She just kind of says, well, I'm still a little behind on all of the advanced technology even on this ship, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, right. Well, I mean, sci-tech is kind of over pretty much everyone's head, so it's all good. I definitely don't understand it. I don't even understand most of my own religion when it comes to psychic stuff, so he just shrugs.
Yeah. Yeah, the funny thing about doing like interactions like these is like if either of you were NPCs, I'd make you guys make rolls for this conversation, right? But like you guys are in control of your characters and you can decide how you respond to all these things.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
sounds like you tentatively made a date.
He says like they probably have somewhere to eat though, I suppose.
She nods and says, food sounds good.
Yeah, I can only have so much of nutrient paste. Although the wow, really? It's not a difficult
But
word.
have you tried the coffee
Kebab.
flavor?
Kebab. I tried the bloodshot flavor. Oh, that's such a good idea.
No.
Oh,
No.
No.
Anyways, it's just all
Actually, I don't know how much worse it could really get compared to direct bloodstream injections. So
That's fair. But I don't really know if it's designed to interact with your stomach. But you know,
it would
find out.
probably be better to swallow than to inject.
It's fair. Yeah. Yeah, and I think when he says like chocolate soylent, he gets a look like, what if there was another flavor of soylent that made me guilty? And then yeah, he says, but the kebab was good. And Yeah, he probably just smiles like a moron, and then it's probably the last thing he has really to say, unless you had what to bring up.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Sure, yeah. Sounds good. So
Walks
you guys,
out through the
like-
door and clicks his heels before you. He kind of jumps.
No,
I
Kicks his
touched my
heels.
girl.
yeah.
But the door end all the way closed.
He smiles and yeah, he can now just all right, cool. And he turns around and just face plants.
Right. You turn into the wall and
great.
just
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
and that's where we cut, right? Like
Right, yeah.
on that. Absolutely.
And then like 2 more pens roll out of his pockets.
Used or
No, not used.
He just
You
has
know,
the
feel
one.
free to liberate them if you'd like, I suppose. But
I mean, I'm not sure if Dylan knows what they are, right?
Probably not.
Yeah.
that's fair.
then not even the
But
giant
they-
logo that says Bloodshot with the.
Yeah,
Well,
they
fair,
look
People probably
but,
don't
like,
know what bloodshot
Exactly,
is.
right? Yeah.
But I mean, they look like injections, and I was just blitzing.
Okay,
like
yeah, so
crazy.
that's true. So that I guess that happens. So Dylan, do you like do anything, or like you at least note that like he apparently had like drugs in?
Yeah, I take note
Well,
of it, but
also,
I'm still
she
a
was
little
there
confused.
when I was like, "Oh, this stuff is amazing."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
steal.
You were there,
So-
I guess. Yeah.
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 Okay, cool. Yeah. So Till, I think you're getting close. You're getting close to planet side. Is there anything that you had in mind to do before you hit New Kazern?
Finish listening to the opera.
Right. So you guys listened to like the whole
don't think-
thing.
It's not all that long.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have
It's not the
24
ring
hours,
cycle or
so-
anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the ring cycle.
That's true. Actually, we could probably listen to the whole ring cycle and then some.
If you didn't want to sleep, I suppose. Yeah.
Caleb, can I make a retroactive goal? I realize I should have made this goal, but I just
That's fine.
Okay.
No problem. Yeah, I'm down with that because the way that we play sometimes it's obviously it can like be like, well, that didn't come up at all, and I really should have
Right.
thought about this, but yeah, that's fine.
Because we pick a goal in our head without really thinking it through that it's actually a
Yeah.
goal.
when
And
I
then
literally I
We
was
work
about to
toward it,
goal.
and then we go,
And
oh,
you're like,
wait a
wait,
minute.
I don't get anything for that. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you're finishing explaining, yeah, like the end of this whatever opera you guys just listened to,
Mhm.
and Chloe, I think Chloe like legit has tears in her eyes as like you're finishing explaining this because you guys are like listening to the last notes of it as you like explain.
Listening to the last notes of the duet between the leading lady and her lover as he finally realizes that he does in fact love her as she's walking into the pyre that they've set up to
Oh,
burn
harsh.
her at the stake for
Hmm.
betraying her people.
Man, you listen to depressing music. Jeez.
But it's a glorious story of love and faithfulness and
No wonder you're so somber.
Yeah, so like Chloe's literally crying. She's like crying at this, and she like wipes away tears, and she just says, that is like, that's so beautiful. And she kind of like looks at you and just like kind of like laugh cries a little bit. She's like, I'm sorry, I probably look super stupid right now.
you should see it on Svalge. You should see
Yeah.
it on Svalge.
I thought you were going to say you
Massive-
should see it from my point of view, and I was like, oh,
No.
burned.
Massive
Sorry.
opera house
Hmm.
filled with people, not a dry eye in the place.
I bet. Wow. And then like, I think maybe you guys look at each other awkwardly for a second, like that kind of like. Does either of us that you both just shared something like super emotional, right? It's that kind of like look, like you're very vulnerable in that look, and then you hear the like, approaching New Kazern.
Okay, cool. It wasn't an alarm or a shot.
I
I was worried.
hmm
No.
And then you hear the ship explode. All right,
Yep.
game over.
Well, rip. hmm
Yeah.
I think Till's distant too. He's not. It's not. This is not like a. There's a moment of sharing, but there's not really a
Mm,
connection, sort of.
Yeah,
Till's got his
yeah,
mind
absolutely.
elsewhere.
Yeah. So like, I think Chloe feels like there's more of a connection than you do, right? And so she's like looking at you, and I don't think she notices that you're distant, right? And she's just like, wow, like we
Okay.
shared that together, like that's cool.
And Till's just like, man, I remember things.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember a pyre. Anyways,
So
that actually might be an interesting flashback to do at one point.
that'd probably
yeah,
be
and if
a-
any of you
a
have any
flashback
ideas
to
for
the future.
flashbacks for
Yes.
any of your characters that you want to do at the beginning of a session, please let me know, and we can do that.
Honestly, pretty much each of my paragraphs would make an excellent flashback
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we
in
can
that
do that.
story because they kind of do it. They kind of parcel it out.
It's true.
Honestly, it's because I write the way I see things in my head, and then I'll write it the way
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
As opposed to anything else. So like,
For sure.
it fits this format pretty well.
Yeah. So yeah, you looks like you're about to hit plan assigned. I think you get a hail on the comms, Till. It's like the docking officer or whatever, and he says, here, let me generate a thing real quick.
Ignore this roll.
Okay.
I was just seeing if I was still passed out when we got there.
Yeah. Let's see. What is the name of this company? So you hear
Black Eyed Peas Incorporated.
no. You hear on the comms, right? Like you hear a guy go hello, this is man, I have to generate his name. I forgot. I generated the name of the company and then I forgot.
I need to generate a name for the control guy.
This is Operator
unless he's
6124.
being, I mean, to be honest, it'd be more like ground control tower to
Right,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, he says yeah,
vessel
so he says,
on
like,
such and such
yeah,
a
space-
vector.
Space traffic control tower to Void's Grace. This is Century Solar. Can we get your transponder number, please?
This is Void's Grace. Transponder number transmitting.
Thank you, Void's Grace.
Buttons and stuff.
Yeah. And so you're
Boop, 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 boop,
so
boop, boop.
Till has the Void's Grace in the time that you've been on here. It's like been a year or so, a little bit, maybe less than a year, but
We as a group have been on the Void's Grace a year?
yeah,
Okay.
a little bit less than a year.
Oh,
you've
that's
been on
fine.
Oh, really?
Void's Grace. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been basing things off the timeline that they've been that they entered the pro gaming scene between 2 and 3 years ago. If we've been on the Grace about a year, that doesn't quite add. Because
Also,
that would mean there have only been pro gamers for like half a year.
No,
to
yeah,
a year
yeah,
and a
yeah.
half.
Also, I'd be very surprised if I'd only been shot once in a year and a half the way I act.
So yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing,
Yeah.
though, like we have set in stone that it was a year ago since the man, or like at least 10 months or something like that since.
Did we?
Yeah, and then the first
Oh, okay.
flashback.
I mean, that's
the gaming circuit ended.
Well, I mean, we might have floundered around just unsuccessfully.
Yeah.
That was kind of my suspicions, is that they didn't get a hold of me and the ship until
Yeah, it would probably like
because our interactions have all
maybe-
been a little more in
yeah,
the
maybe it's more
realm
like
of a
6
couple
months. Yeah,
And
'Cause-
maybe some of that time was like setting up
exactly right. Yeah,
the logistics and all
Yeah.
that.
Mhm,
Because we've been acting like we're not super familiar with each
Mhm.
other's.
mhm.
you're at least passively familiar with each other, but yeah, you
Right,
You haven't really grown to like each other necessarily. Maybe.
Is there a way to get more health back? By the way, because I don't want to do 4 health.
I think you just keep
Oh,
sleeping.
look
right?
at you with all 4 health points that
I mean,
you've got
You can
there.
get another rest in.
Right, but then I'll only be at 7.
Oh dear.
I would like to be.
7 health points.
I would like to be at 15.
I would like to be at more than 1, thank you. More than 2.
I mean,
thank
you are. Yeah, you You should be. We just haven't done your leveling up stuff yet. So,
Okay.
Oh right, yeah. I
Good.
was gonna say I thought
Yeah.
not everybody leveled at least once.
Because
So,
Till's like made of tissue paper at the moment.
Yeah. I think we'll take the last part of the session. I think go through the leveling up stuff since we don't have Connor or Jared anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you send the transponder, and I guess the question I was going to ask you, Till, is in the months that you've been driving, flying the Void's Grace around, has there been any like situations that you've come into where like Void's Grace might have any sort of reputation, or there might be anything on your like record at all of any sort, good or bad?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah.
Not
it's
at this point.
Pretty clean
It's
slate.
been
Yeah.
pretty unremarkable. I think this is the most excitement we've
Yep,
seen
I think so too. Yeah.
on a trip. I think most of the time it's just been cargo here,
Yep.
random animal there.
Mm-hmm. He took a giraffe somewhere once.
That was exciting. So space giraffes have 6-inch necks and 15-foot legs.
their limbs are just like suspended from their body. And they
It's
just
like a
go from
spider
the-
giraffe. That's terrifying.
Oh,
Giant like daddy
we'll
long
never
legs
talk
giraffe.
about that again. That's horrifying.
Yep.
Uh,
I mean, to be honest, like knowing Paragon science, that probably exists.
probably.
Yeah, they've done some weird animal genetic engineering, for sure. But yeah, so they send you, like, he hails you again and says, "All right, looks like your transponder went through all right. You're good to dock at Century Solar number 2. There'd just be a small docking fee, of course. Thank you for your service, or thank you for your customer. Thank you for being a customer.
Business.
Yeah, there you go.
Is
That's
the word you were
That's
seeking.
the word. Yep. Thank you for your business." Yeah.
Till maneuvers in the ship with the adequate formalities and hand wavium.
Sure. Yeah.
Hand
So,
waving.
someone pay 100 credits, I guess.
What? Highway robbery. Spaceway robbery.
Does anyone have 100 credits so they can
That is literally
deal
all
this
the money
docking
that I
fee?
have.
I think I might be able
I
to
How much are we
do
getting
that.
paid for
You
this?
have exactly 100 credits. I don't think payment has been discussed.
Yeah, maybe I'll ask that in character.
Yeah. Maybe.
So
maybe.
I have 440 credits.
Yeah.
What?
I think
Nice.
Till kind of looks to Chloe, say, "Hey, your company's providing
Right.
aid here. We're gonna get reimbursed for this, yeah?
So
The
how do
dude
you
got
actually
shot.
phrase
We
it?
get reimbursed this, yeah?"
How do you phrase it?
I mean, this is work expense, right? I assume they have to.
Yeah.
Cover.
Something along the lines of, where do I send the invoice
Right.
for?
Nice.
All right. Well, make a talk
No.
roll with charisma, I guess, to see how well that goes
incidental-
over.
Oh, you.
Fergus shows up
Why?
and says, "How much are we getting paid?" And then walks
Fergus
out.
is asleep. He has a headache.
Because somebody's been
inject
beating
Fergus.
a punching bag.
I go inject Fergus with bloodshot and then put him in the cockpit to ask how much money we make. And he'll
So
get a
he
plus two.
runs up the wall a couple times.
If he's psychic. He just sticks to the
He
ceiling.
thinks that he can fly.
Uh.
Yeah. So make that talk roll with charisma.
She's a professional.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how this stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
Till might not be very good at conveying thoughts.
I guess we'll find out.
Don't be
Oof.
mean.
Oh.
That was real bad.
Oh.
That was.
Wait, you're an expert, right?
Yes.
You are a full expert. Yes, you can.
You
You
can
can
reroll that.
You can reroll it. Yeah, you can
Please
spend
do
your
that.
reroll. Yeah.
Plus, it's once per scene, and I imagine the scene is going to be over soon.
Yeah.
So.
I think we're gonna do it like once per hour, right? Of the 4 hours.
Oh, I hate that.
How?
It's so arbitrary. Ooh, whoa.
Wow,
Nice.
you literally got the highest possible roll you could have gotten.
Holy potatoes. Okay.
Yeah, so Till looks over and he just says that real smooth like, And then Chloe looks over and she says, "Oh, of course, right. No, you're totally right. Here, let me do that." And then she like hooks up her data pad right to the ship and like sends over 100 credits for the docking fee. And then she looks at you and she says, "I'm sorry, what? We should really reimburse you for this entire thing. We wouldn't have gotten out of it without you. What do you think would be fair?"
100,000 credits.
I'm not familiar with the monetary systems in this particular game setting. Game. I need to stop trying to align this particular window to the grid and actually think about what I'm saying. But
I do that.
I've broken their CSS. This is amazing. Oh, it is all broke.
What?
Oh, this is excellent.
Wait,
For,
what
just
is happening?
I'm sorry, I broke the page, and this is amazing.
Just for reference, what are our bills every month? Isn't it like 40,000 credits or something insane like that?
No. So remember, here, let me open the Void's Grace.
Oh, that's where it was. I couldn't remember where we had that.
So you have a maintenance cost every
Oh my
6
God.
months.
Insane. Oh,
Every
what?
6 months of 38,750
Oh, they
credits.
changed it. That's why it's so expensive.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Still a lot,
So
but
yeah,
makes a lot more sense.
knowing that, let me look. I was opening the PDF and I literally have the book in front of me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Just let's all get 10,000 apiece. How's that?
Ooh, that's a bit much.
Well, it's bartering. You have to start high.
Because this is the thing, right? Like, maybe that would make sense if you guys like,
Had a job.
if this had been a different thing. But like, they don't. Like they lost money on this because they lost their ship and stuff, and so it would be
Right.
kind of mean to
Yeah.
them to like force them to pay a whole bunch.
Oh,
more,
for sure.
Right?
I mean, yeah,
For
but
sure.
we don't eat. I mean, we do eat nutrient pay. Whatever. You know what?
I think it's a value of, okay, what's pretty normal rate for a transport plus
Right, transport fee. Yeah, they have that. So let me look.
I was gonna say there's got to be like a job.
Yeah, because like I think we'd charge a normal transport fee for carrying
Yeah.
however many
Plus-
people and the cargo
plus,
that they've got. I don't know
medical expenses plus.
I don't think we've exactly had to pay for
plus-
medical expenses
That's fair. I guess
considering
you'll-
medical ship with doctors and stuff, so they probably just patched you up as a matter of course.
Yeah.
they did. But
They're like
there's-
doctors, they just can't help themselves.
There's the I don't remember what you call it, but basically the fee you charge when you get in danger doing a thing.
The danger fee.
Yeah, let's go with that.
The danger fee. Hazard pay.
Hazard pay. Yeah, I got shot. Right.
So
Sure, it was because I stood out. in
That's
the middle of the
work.
road.
That would be for that. You'd have to put in a thing for workman's comp.
I'm
So-
not charging you for it.
Starship passage, good Starship passage per hex is 1,000 credits. So that would be like per person. Usually, like if you're gonna like hire or pay a person on a ship to take you from one hex to another, in a good Starship, it would be 1,000 hex per person or 1,000 credits per person.
Per person?
Yeah, I mean it would be 1,000 per person.
Alright.
But
That's
I mean
good.
maybe
That's
there's
not much,
discount bulk fees or whatever. But yeah, it's
How many people are we carrying at the moment? So
1,
it'll
2,
determine
3,
how
4,
generous I'm
5,
feeling
6,
for it.
7. There are 7 people of their crew on your ship.
I think charging this. I don't think discount is appropriate,
Mhm.
as we did get people did get shot at.
Yeah, it's true.
People got shot.
And they got shot up
technicalities.
with drugs.
Yep. Also, that to be fair, I did kind of compensate myself. That's not officially theirs, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's true. She made a point of making sure that it wasn't theirs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are folks okay with just charging what the
Yeah, I
standard
mean-
fee?
Makes sense.
Because I don't know in terms of like how many jobs we have to do in order to make enough to pay maintenance and what that looks like.
If it's every 6 months, that gives us a lot of leeway.
Okay.
Um,
Because I don't know what the economy looks like in terms of actually maintaining
So,
this,
I
and I
think
don't
to-
want to
Yeah, I
mess
think-
this up, but I don't want to
yeah.
ruin relationships with them by
to
charging too much
mention, though,
either.
yeah, on that point, a thing to mention is it is 1,000 per hex, and that kind of assumes that you're traveling with a spike jump, that like 1 hex, which you are not. You're just moving in system, which is a lot less on the fuel, than it would be to actually travel 1 hex.
right. So the rest can be the fact that we saved their lives. And
Right? Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. I think.
I mean, 'cause I have a
would
feeling
have to.
hiring
Someone would have to make another roll to like see how well that went over.
Excuse me.
I mean, like the first.
No.
Well, the first roll was to like pay the
The
docking
first
fee and
roll
get
was,
the
hey,
ball
we need to
rolling.
get paid. How do we get paid?
how much is hiring mercenaries? Because that's essentially what they did the first part. I mean, well, it wasn't mercenaries. It was like
It would be like I don't know,
What?
150 for like a really good like bodyguard or mercenary or something per day. 150 credits.
okay,
That'd be like their salary.
right. Well, yeah. Anyways,
So yeah, I think you could probably get away with charging them 7,000, and it would probably be okay.
All right, that seem fair?
So you say that to her?
No, I'm asking if the team thinks
Right.
that sounds
sorry.
fair.
What was the question? What was the amount? I mean,
The 7K?
yeah, that seems fine.
Okay.
Okay, so where is that? You know, if you mention that to her, she nods and she's like, "That sounds fair. You did do us a great service." And then she like wires the money over. How is this money being split up? Is this going like into the ship account? Are you guys splitting this money?
I would think we would want to put it into the ship account and then pay people according to whether or not they're doing their chores or
Yeah.
I don't have chores. That's what we have. The little.
you don't
robot.
have an allowance then.
That's what you have the Roomba for.
It's not an allowance. It's a job.
Yeah, no, I mean, 7,000, there are 3 of us here, it's what, 2,000, 2,000, and 3,000, and we just make it disappear, and
And then Fergus and Evelyn don't know it existed. No, I don't think you can get away with that. So let's just
I don't
put it
think
in
I
like
wanna
a
get-
separate like ship account for now. We can figure out like how that's being allocated at a later date.
I mean, don't we just divide it by 5?
Or you could just do that, right? It's up to you guys.
1K a piece, and then the remaining 2 into the ship's
Yeah.
account,
I think that
Sure.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
makes sense.
so that we're still able to pay ship's bills
Yep.
without having to then break back into people's accounts.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So everybody add 1,000 credits to their character sheet.
Oh yeah. All it took was
And,
getting shot in the chest.
Here, let me. I'll put in a note about how much you have in the ship account. So you have 2,000 credits. Okay. So I'm gonna put the 1,000 credits in their character sheets and the other people's, so they know they have that. Okay. Cool. So how about? Because I don't know how much further we want to get into this without the other 2.
Well, I mean, it depends on
Do
if we
you
have
have
like, if you have a thing that happens when we get to planet, like, because
Yeah,
we have
I
stuff
had ideas.
around, but
Yeah.
like if it's an issue for us to have time on the planet before things happen, then I guess we could just start doing after session stuff. But
I
if
mean,
not,
somebody needs to have a awkwardly romantic dinner at some point, so.
I had a couple goals that had banked on there still being more stuff to do.
Right. So I'm just trying to think of yeah, I think we can do a couple of more things without it. So I guess basically we get a montage of you guys like going down, docking, and then Chloe's like kind of figuring out the logistics, calling the people that are like on the planet who might be able to help her and like getting this cargo to where it needs to be. And so they're kind of like around the ship, kind of like getting this stuff off and put somewhere, and you guys just kind of have like free reign to like do whatever. So let's take our take another break right now, and then come back and do some more of that, and yeah, maybe have an awkward date. Maybe. All right, so we'll be right back with more Elysian Road right after this.